Okay. Hello, hello. I know everyone has already went through the patch notes and found all the interesting parts and all the relevant changes and whatnot. But I feel like everyone has their own unique take on it. Everyone has their uh, interests and everyone has their focus on different changes based on what they have been playing or they have been planning on playing in the next league, next season. And yeah, so I thought I would also just try to kind of blaze through it and then only talk more, in detail, more extensively at the points where I actually have something relevant to add. So yeah, I'll try to be faster than my usual 1 hour plus read through. So yeah, I'm hopping into it. Introducing the Mirage League, empower rewards, new skill and support gems, new unique items, endgame overhaul, fractured atlas, explore shaped regions, discover memory walls, over 40 new exceptional support gems, and much more. Reliquarian, Ascendancy class, Keepers to Core, quality of life features, and new supporter packs, obviously. Okay, so for more information about this expansion, check out pathofexile.com/mirage. Yeah, the Mirage Challenge League take on a rogue sect of the Feridun as they set the energies of captured Jinn for nefarious ends and help legendary Merkat Sakima put an end to nation point once and for all. And there you go. There's the stuff. I'm probably gonna appreciate the lore stuff and everything else once I actually can interact with the NPC or interact with the mechanic. So for now, this is just lore stuff. And yeah, standard hardcore solo set found. The usual suspects. I haven't seen the Orb Regalia armor set anywhere just yet. At least I didn't see it on the Path of Exile YouTube channel. But it's probably gonna be up soon if it's not up already. I don't know. It's Regalia. I'm gonna be honest. Like I kind of hope, uh, quietly hope maybe for something else at some point, but I mean I kind of get it why it's armor and not something different, but I'm just feeling a bit bummed that I missed out on the life pool coloring thing. I think that was an affliction which I couldn't really play that much because of PC issues. I think that was the one where you got the blue, not blue, purple, like the MTX changes your life pool, life globe into purple and changes your life flask as well. I think that's pretty cool. I kind of want something like that, but I think there's also some MTX stuff that's like from shop that does something similar to that, or at least I think that was the one that was from the Kirex Vault MTX at some point that changes your life to like some sort of molten lava kind of thing. Anyways, I'm already going on a tangent and I haven't even started reading. Okay. So yeah, challenges told them new content, Reliquary and Ascendancy class, interesting. I think kind of my plan, which will probably change many times before league start. But right now I'm thinking that I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be alone with that. But I guess we'll actually see it properly on like Monday or Sunday in our time, I guess. Something like that. I think it's New Zealand Monday. The Reliquarian, like the full nodes and everything. So far we don't know everything. But I'm thinking like surely there is something that can be a strong build with all those, options in there. So I'm thinking if I just, start a Scion, start leveling it with whatever, and then I think by the time I actually complete the Atlas, which should be doable with a variety of skills that you would run on like any other class as well. okay, obviously like not like necessarily full complete. I don't even know what full completion means necessarily, because like maybe there's like some hard stuff that I can't really do with actually just simply whatever. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, plan is to do Scion and then cook something with the Reliquarian, or more realistically, copy what other people are cooking. All right. So yeah, it's that. Exceptional support gems, a new and improved version of Awakened support gems. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. 40 of them, over 40 of them. Surely there is something good, or at least valuable. Like even if I don't want to use it myself, I can farm for it or whatever. Another nice drop. Coin of knowledge, coin of power, coin of skill. We know the additional link. Each is like semi-random, right? Because like it keeps the color, right? Like knowledge blue, int, power, red, strength, coin, skill is yeah, green, dexterity. And there's like new skills. Can't really say anything about them until I don't know. I can't really can't really uh tell by myself. It's like if they're like actually really good, because like thematically it's nice, obviously. Divine Blast, Holy Hammers, Holy Strike, Shield of Light. Yeah, the retaliation skill didn't really look like something that would interest me. I don't know. I'm sure maybe there's a better way to do it, but at least in the very short showcase of the skill, it didn't really look like something that anyone would willingly play. I don't know. I don't know if it's just retaliation is clunky altogether, or maybe you just need like proper setup for it. I haven't really played it in a while. Maybe like a little bit at some point, but I don't even know if that was retaliation skill at that point. So yeah, we'll see about the new skills. And then pretty much the same with the transfigure gems. Is that I'll wait and see. I'm not gonna plan on it. All of these new additions, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Incrementally improve sound, art, effects, and environments. That's always nice. End game changes. Now, obviously, that's the thing that many of us have some perspective on, considering that everyone's doing the end game. Yeah, extensive changes, no longer associated with a specific map area. I think that's nice. Like you don't have to look for any specific map. Oh, I have a bunch of maps, but I don't have that specific map that I need. And then I'm gonna have to go and have to buy it, and I have to get it from Kirek or whatnot. Also, poor Kirek. I think he's gone. I don't know if he's like gone, because like the things that Kirek is doing, they are not really relevant anymore. But like lore wise, he should like still be a part of it, because like what we are doing is still the same. It's just the things that Kirek was actually doing gameplay wise is what is kind of obsolete. So I'm not entirely sure if we're just gonna like skip over that, or if we're gonna treat it like, okay, we are over that point where we were like doing all the Kirek mission. I mean, okay, I say Kirek missions, but I also talk about it in like a more general sense, like not necessarily the Kirek missions as like a gameplay mechanic, but it's like Kirak telling us like, okay, this is the Atlas, you have to do this and this and that, and then as we progress into fighting the quest Eater, quest Exarch, and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just excited, interested about how that's gonna go. from like a lore perspective. Yeah, but again, we'll see. You got all the structure of the atlas. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the thing already. So that was presented there. So yeah, we that's what we know, and then we'll see how it feels in practice. All content accessed during the map device is now physically present on the atlas. That's nice. It's nice. Unique maps, nice. No, but they said that we don't have to do the Hall of the Grandmasters. I think it was like 10 points. Yeah, it's there. 1 skill point per unique map, up to maximum of 10, and there are 20. Yeah, okay, nice. You can just pick and choose. It's probably gonna be like, okay, it's not okay if you think about it. The crafting is probably in there, right? Like cannot roll attack modifiers or multi-mod or stuff like that. So it's probably, if it's like still tied to the unique maps, then it's still gonna be those that you wanna complete. I don't know if there's gonna be like a shake up on that. We'll see. As long as there is nothing in Hall of the Grandmasters, then it's fine. And yeah, remaining skill points have been moved to other places, and we have more skill points than before. Right. Yeah, Aegon has now a new goal, determined to stop Zen traversing the threads. Yeah. Arcane astrolabes. Alright. There's all the map crafting stuff. I don't wanna, go too deep into that because it's like, it's gonna be we'll see anyway. We'll see in practice how it feels. Just like with many other things. So yeah. Itemized memory threads or whatever. Not because like the memory strand. Because I guess the memory strand, I think that's on the item, and the memory thread is like the line that you follow on the atlas, and you're like going to the thingy. Or is it memory skills removed? Yeah, here it is. Memory threads. Yeah, so that's the memory threads, and the strand is the on the item. Yeah. Voidstone from killing both the Searing Exarch and the Ether. So there's no one for each. Incarnation of Dread. Loneliness. So yeah, these are the memory of something. Those are like the itemized memory threads. Yup. Yep, tier 17s are nightmare maps, or like basically gone. I guess each nightmare map, 1 skill point, or I mean Atlas skill point, obviously. Text. Where bosses only require 4 fragments. Okay, probably because of the No, I just started wondering, but I think that was like 5 slots altogether. Yeah, so those are the same. No, I was just thinking that if we have the same amount of scarab slots for maps, but yeah, we do, because there was like 3 unlocked in like showcase, I think, and there's like 2 other slots that are locked there, but probably unlockable. I don't know if they are like unlockable in the same way. So yeah, Kirk no longer offers Atlas missions. Yeah, so that's gone, which is like pretty interesting, right? Because then that also changes the Atlas tree, right? Because like even if you're like not focusing on it, like as you were padding through the middle, there's like some correct stuff there. Like the, like middle, the bottom, like circle. I think that was the part where like you pat through and then you like grab some correct stuff or like progressing the atlas. Yeah. So I wonder how the new tree looks like. Yep. Okay. So chisels are gone. The regular chisels, Maven's chisels are still here. Basically, like the chisels are rolled into like Atlas completion quantity bonus, I think. Like from what I remember, like it's gonna be like 25 when you're like fully stacked up on it. So it's we don't lose that 20% that you would get from chisel. It's nice. But it's like it is like chisels now always apply plus 20%. So but then like the regular chisel is gone. So like yeah, it applies to these Maven's chisels. Okay, card to Strongbox can no longer roll the modifier and contain items additional quality. Oh yeah, because like the quality, stuff. And Orbs of Scouring move to Searing Exarch. Huh. Okay. I guess. Greatly reduce the amount of items dropped from explosive barrels in the fortress. These barrels will now drop a comparable number of items to barrels in other maps. Okay. Is there like still a fortress map even, or is the fortress map now nightmare map? Then what is exactly? Because like tier 17 is removed, but how removed are they? If there is still a fortress, I don't know. Anyways, Blight, I don't care. Scarabs, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, now I'm gonna get to the point where I just start skipping over stuff because then I don't know. I mean, there's extensive. There's been extensive documentation, so to speak, on my channel to see what I did do and what I did not do. So I think it's quite obvious that there's a bunch of things that I haven't done, either in a long time or maybe ever or never did it, or never done it. So yeah, obviously I'm not gonna pretend and say that I know what I'm talking about. No, I don't really know a bunch of these how they actually gonna pan out. But I'm sure people will find the optimal solution, the optimal way to everything, and then I'm just gonna have to decide how much I wanna optimize my own gameplay experience, which is gonna be interesting because like I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'm gonna be playing with a controller. By that time comes, I think I'm gonna have it in my hand because it can be rough with the keyboard and mouse sometimes, and I wanna like mix it up a little, which also means that I'm gonna be playing something that is not super like button pressy, like doesn't need like a lot of keybinds, but I've already been gravitating towards those anyway. Like the less buttons I have to press, the better. So I don't really have to give up on anything that I haven't done already, or I haven't quote unquote given up on already. So yeah, again, back from that tangent because I just kind of uh spaced out seeing all these texts. Yeah, beyond delirium, domination, influencing, legion, ritual, torment. Da 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 da. Nice changes. Let's see. Drowning orbs no longer move towards players if there are no other enemies in range of the player. That's kind of neat. I guess we have like pause, so if you see the drowning orbs, it's just annoying when you're like done with everything, and then you still get hit by the drowning orb. And yeah, this is the important part, right? Also, this is like obviously important part. It's like losing some layouts. Yeah, baseball, Sag. What else is toxic sewer? Also sad. There's a spring. Good riddance. I'm not gonna miss you. Goodbye. Wow, that is such a good one. So yeah, like if I look at overall, I guess Platinum is a bit sad, but overall, I think these are like pretty nice removals. If you look at what we got back, what was added back, Bog, I like. Seems okay. Dungeon, again, it's very nice that you don't actually really have to run these, I think, more than once ever if you wanna like complete it. Because if you have just a tier-based map item, then you just don't have to run it. Because like you're not gonna be like, oh, I got this dropped and I have to I guess Horizon Orbit or sell it or whatnot. But I guess okay, maybe not just once, maybe you run it once and then maybe later you realize that you need it for Pantheon and then you run it again. But anyways, Reef I think is nice. Dry Sea, okay. Foundry, I think Foundry is the one where you're just if I'm mixing it with something. I think I don't know if Foundry is the one that you just like you can like run straight through the middle and then you get it leads to the boss room. Like if you just want to like run around and you don't have to. But maybe I'm just mixing it with something else. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just glad that Desert Spring is moved because first of all, like even just doing Desert Spring once is a pain. And then if you're like realize like you usually have the the I think the Aracali Pantheon on it, Pantheon mod on it. So then you realize, oh, I have to do it again. Yeah, I'm just glad Desert Spring is gone. That's nice. Yeah. Following map modifiers can no longer roll. No damage for 3 out of every 10 seconds. Nice. Goodbye. Petrification statues. Okay, goodbye. Not gonna miss you. Reduced action speed for each time they've used a skill recently. Yep. Nice marked for that. Yeah, that was a bit rough. Remove the rare and unique monster. Remove life, mana, and energy shield from players or their minions and hit. Yep. Impale stuff. Yep. Vacan's Desolation. Yeah, that was annoying. Your traps. Let's move into the cast speed for minions and totems. Damage players' totems taken from hits is taken from the summoner's life instead. Yeah, that's that's not fun. Okay. And now this is gonna be a part where like I don't really know a bunch of these nodes by name. So obviously shadow shaping, border takings, and singular focus have been removed, obviously because of the Atlas rework, Atlas changes. The bets not taken, which grants divination cards found in your maps, are from two random other maps instead of the one you're in. I don't really see that being anything useful, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Synthesized ability, which grants completing a map objective within a shaped region instead collapses a different map within the shaped region, which is obviously you need if you don't want to like jump around and do the other like different maps, different layouts to manage the blob. You can just do that, but I think it has like the potential. I think that's the one that you have like if it cuts it right through the middle, which obviously you wouldn't have to worry about if you were running it quote unquote properly by running all the different maps. There's like a blob and it can like be cut off, and I think you lose then, some of those bonuses. Like it's not gonna be just like you cut it off and then those the other blob that disappears. I don't think that's being treated as completed, so I don't think that those bonuses progress the rest of the blob that is left over. I think, I think I'm perfectly fine with that. I say that now, but maybe, but like, I mean, if I'm not fine with that, if it's really that big of a deal to lose that, to have the potential of just losing some of the blob, then I'm just probably gonna be doing either something else that's not really blob focused, if there is even such a thing, that or I'm just gonna not take the keystone, right, and then play the game properly, so to speak. We'll see. Overloaded circuits, Atlas Keystone. Your maps are opened with 5 additional random unallocated notable Atlas passives. That sounds fun. That sounds fun. I don't know how useful it is in practice. Sounds kind of fun. Refiner's Bargain. Life Force found in your map. Granted a random crop instead of 250% of the value. And Sulfite found in your maps granted a random ore instead at 10% of the value. So yeah, like obviously the above the crop nerf the ore because of the swap with King's March. That now you get the currency from the ores, and then you get the other stuff from the crop, which is nice because obviously this way you actually have to interact with the map. Like it doesn't really feel like entirely divorced from the gameplay of getting the currency with the shipments. Like you have to interact in the map. But I guess you would still have to get the gold from somewhere anyway too. Uh, Anyways, I think it's nice. We'll see how it shakes out in the end. So yeah, it makes sense. Ancient conflict. Uh, oh, Abyssal Trove. This thing inspires a 10% chance to drop an Abyss Scarab, previously 3%. I feel like I don't know how useful that is really. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I really know what's going on. 2 new small passes leading to Ancient Decay have also been added. 25% faster expedition detonation speed. For those that would like a change of pace, I don't know, I haven't done an expedition in a while. So, yeah. Obviously, Chiseled Perfection has been renamed because like this isn't really Chiseled Perfection anymore. Increased effect of 3% increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps per fragment used with map. I don't know how often people were using fragments in the first place, because then like, where do you put the scarab? I don't know. Whatever. Deadly Prey, less passive. I don't know. For Love of the Queen, haven't run it. I don't care. Okay, yeah. Blight, I don't care. Blight, still don't care. Syndicate, I don't care. Sulfite, don't really care. So yeah, no longer has 10% chance of completing maps. So no free use of random map crafting. It has 10% gives number of rare monsters. So I guess like the map crafting stuff is like gone altogether, obviously. From what we've seen, I'm here. Rare monsters, magic monsters. I mean, it's kind of neat, no? More monsters. If they drop something, then it's actually nice. Travel Glory, Lab, I don't care. Nope. Two-Hearted Hunt, Red Beast, really, nope. Unimaginable Horrors, Cider, nope. Friends in Heist, nope. Like I can say to all of these, no, I don't care. And then if it turns out it's actually good for something, then later we're gonna see it, and then we're gonna care later. That's fine. So yeah, Keepers of the Flame is a core league. Yep. Thanks to your help, Elite and the Order, the Keepers of the Flame have managed to curb the onslaught of the Breach Lords, but the fight is not yet over. Elite and the Order have solidified their position and will continue to offer assistance and rewards as you drive back the Hiveborn across the Breaklast. Yeah. Yeah, it starts in Act 6. And yeah. Stuff. Walls. Ooh, Flash of Zasht. Transforms the Breach unique to its alternate version. Are they like... No, I'm just thinking that alternate version is that like what used to be... I'm not entirely sure about the hierarchy between like the breach uniques. Like, was it like the things that were upgraded in the past with like the blessing? Are they considered like alternate versions, or is it like the Fileborns? Because I don't think I think that would be just broken. No, like if it would be like able to swap between like Fileborn, different Fileborn modes. So yeah, like it's probably just that. What used to be, because like it. Okay, so it might be weird why I am even confused about anything here, but I'm still living in the past, right? When you had this upgrades with the blessings, and then you would have not in every case, but like in most cases, you would have the base assumption that like you have the item that is like a basic version, and then you use the blessing on it, and it gets like a quote unquote better or stronger version. Hence, why you would use the blessing in the first place. And obviously, there were scenarios when you would like you wouldn't want the upgraded version for whatever reason. But I think that was kind of rare because like now it's just like I'm not entirely sure that is like the alternate version, and I guess I could check it in PoE wiki. That would be something that I could do, but I don't think I will. Yeah, but I guess if that was a thing, then why was it not a thing until now? Maybe because there's like less of them. I don't even know like how the Flash of Flashes, if it's gonna be like something that's everywhere or if it's gonna be like very rare. I don't even know. Whatever. Brimstones are now non-functional, can be traded for hybrid, and yeah. The following items have been removed and existing items will be deleted upon logging in. Ugh. Feels bad. Goodbye. Okay, now I'm really curious. Like I'm pretty sure it's everything is dead, right? Because like you're basically selling something that would be, deleted. Like unless someone wants to try out something in the remaining few days, and it's probably alchemy shards, basically the value of the things. I mean, it's very interesting, right? Because like usually, if you had like a great graft, and it would just go in, even if it's like not usable, right? But I guess we also had the relics. I think those are also gone. I think they also got deleted, but I'm not 100% sure. Like the relics that we had in Sanctum League. That were like equipable in like a similar way than how the grafts were. So yeah, I guess they are like all gone. Everything related to grafts is gone. Hiving glands directly open portals of the hive colony rather than being used alongside the map. Okay. Fully grown by default, all wombs will be accessible from the start. You will still need to work with the elite to unlock points to allocate. It's like I don't know. Fully grown. I don't know. It's like minor change, I guess. Graft blood has been renamed to hive blood, so the still blood is just hive blood. No longer be grown from Genesis tree, obviously. The corresponding branch has been pruned, so it's gone. Okay. No longer stores graft. Okay, that's so like the whole graft side of it is gone. No weapon and quiver from provisioning. I don't think I've done that aside from like one or two. So I think the when I was making the weapon for the Holy Relic character, I think that's when I used the weapon provisioning option. Aside from that, haven't really used it much. But obviously, it makes sense. You would just be able to, I guess, kind of hunt for, quality bases. Like you wouldn't really necessarily care about what is on it, right? And you just try to get the base. I'm pretty sure, but I guess it also means that's why the bases were so cheap. Okay, obviously, if there's, I mean, it's not entirely true, right? Because I guess that's like if it's a good base, then I think like the 30 quality is still expensive. And if it was not the good base, then I guess even if it's 30 quality, you wouldn't do it anyway. I don't know. But I think there are also the ones that you would have like what it's like a base that is otherwise wouldn't be used as base for crafting rare, but maybe there's like a specific unique that's precisely on that one, and then that can be something. Anyways, again, another tangent. Anyway, it can do it from the womb gifts. Cannot do it from the womb gifts. I don't know why I find it so hard to say that word. Okay. Reduce the number of points you can earn in sub trees. Rebalanced. Da da da. Variants. It was tool. It was ash. Pretty achievement. Okay, no flash grafts. Yeah, no grafts. So like it's everything. Just grafts are gone, and you can like do stuff with the breaches. Like this is nice. The always highs, always unstable breaches, because generally, and obviously with probably many people as well. That was the one that I kind of liked because that's the one that I can just open it up. Kind of obviously similarly to like the old breaches. That was nice. That was nice to do. So there's like a good chance that if I run breach, then I'm just gonna take that in the Atlas tree. And yeah, like all the breach stuff, which again I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't know how it's gonna feel. Let's see. And yeah, breach stuff. This is also breach stuff. Yeah. Falborn barracks can't explode. Sage, yep. Falborn the embalmer can't, do the nearby. So that's a hit obviously on the poison caster stunned stuff, which I tried to follow, tried to do, but I haven't been able to actually properly do it, and I just got a lot weaker when I tried to do it, which is most likely my fault because I've missed probably some crucial stuff in there. So it's not something that hurts me personally, but that is that build that is hurt by it. Fileborn reverberation rod. I don't even know if it was. Oh yeah, it's just Uh, due to the change of awakened spell cascade, change it to greater spell cascade, and yeah. The below changes can be applied to existing items in Divine Orb beside of regrets. Like you probably wouldn't want to do it, right? Falborn, Toolborn. Okay, so yeah, it's nerfed. This is nerfed. Eh. I mean, still gonna you're still gonna use it, right? If you would use it, it just I guess it just gives less. Mm, whatever, whatever. So yeah, but at least I have it if I ever for any reason in the future. At least I don't have to uh worry about not having a legacy one, I suppose, because it can be applied with divine orbs. So those are not gonna be changed by themselves. Okay, Falworn changes here, changes there. I don't know. I haven't used that, but yeah, Harbies are gone. Yeah, basically, yeah, Harbies are gone. I think that's that section, and then the rest is just basically just all the consequences of it. I mean, on one hand, I would like thinking like, okay, like if you think about it, you don't necessarily have to remove a mechanic to work on the mechanic behind the scenes, or on like the development pipeline. But I think it's just nice because like remove most cases of currency shards dropping throughout the game. Nice. I think that's nice. Like I hope it's like mirror shard. I think you're still gonna be able to get it from King's March, or like there's like a div card, or yeah. But there's no obviously for the people who are who are farming Harbies, or haunting the elusive mirror shard, or hunting for like a conversion into fracturing orbs from fracturing shards, or just getting the shards in general. Also nice even if you don't get it into the full item conversion. Obviously, I don't know if using the word if it like unintentionally equates it to like the loot conversion stuff. But that was the thing on the Atlas tree, right? For the Harbies, when it's like a chance to turn your shard into the full currency item. Like that's how the fracturing orb drops happened for the most part. I know there's like also div card that gives fracturing orb. But yeah, this is nice. I think it's just I guess they rolled it into the base drop pool, right? Which is I'm sure it's here, right? So yeah, Engineer's Orbs, Harvey's Orbs, Orbit Horizon, bye bye. Shards, bye bye. Existing items will be deleted. I didn't even know that these existed. Regulation scroll, electroshocks. I don't even know that. What? First time I'm hearing of these. Oh, okay. I guess. I guess. I don't think I've ever heard of these. Okay. So yeah, element diff cards. The journey, the messenger landing. Unique fragments. Oh yeah, because like these are obviously the fragments of the items. Uniques no longer going to be obtained, and these were added to a drop pool. Are be gone. I'm just looking for the one that has the one that added into the drop pool. Probably missed it. Yeah, it was the very first line. Okay. Pressuring or tension or is part of the core drop pool. Okay, status of Kalgor, Motaro, new shipment. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna really talk about King's March when I haven't been doing King's March for a while. I don't think I've done it at all. I did like entered it, and entered it. And I got like what three farmers. And I do it for like a few hours, and then I realized like I'm not gonna do that, and I stopped doing it. I don't think I've gotten enough to run a shipment, because then shipment would also need sailors. So yeah, let's see. It was mentioned in reveal or a Q&A. So yeah, wages. Uh, gold wage costs have decreased. Yeah, reduced global demand for crops and heightening danger within the atlas. Oh, mappers increased. Yeah. So I mean, I guess if you're like making things harder and quote unquote harder to do, then I guess not doing it anyway feels better, because you know you're not doing it, and then you're you're just gonna uh doing nothing feels a better deal if doing it would be harder, because I mean I'm pretty sure it's still worth it, just doing it. But I don't know if I have it in me to run King's March ever. We'll see. Bestiary, okay. It's interesting. Beast crafting. It's gonna be interesting. Like the beast stuff is there's no character mission for it now. That would give you like the interesting or the unique beasts for these, but these are increase the level. It gives experience to an exceptional fortune. Oh, okay. And this one sacrifices 3 high quality. Doesn't really look very good. Yeah, betrayal. I don't care. Delve, I don't care. Expedition, I don't care. Legion. I just realized that I've been yapping for 50 minutes already. Even though I said that this would be fast. Well, it wasn't. What a surprise. Anyways, added a modifier to ultimatums that prevents players being able to block. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Oh, now I can I can scroll through all of these. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I can't block. Yeah, I kind of care there, but I mean it's ruin stuff, right? Like it's grueling gauntlet stuff. It's like rough. If you because like if you, there is a mod can't block. If you don't have to click the mod, then you're just not gonna click the mod, and then you can still block. And that's good. It's like the only way you really break it if you have to take it, which is with grueling gauntlet. And then if you have like the combination of ruin and hand block, and you have to take both of those, then you're quitting, or you're just losing the ultimatum for free. I don't know, but I mean, and I know what, like, obviously I have heard the change that is like further down to the blood notch that got cut in half, but like if I really want to do ultimatums still, if I really want to do, just sitting there and not doing anything aside from clicking the difficulty mods, or like picking between the raging skulls or the storm color or the whatever, and then picking up the rewards and then running the next map, I think I'm still gonna be able to do that. And later there are the changes. It's like, oh, this is a big change for the build. And I'm like, oh wait, I haven't even used that. It's like maybe I should have used that, but I haven't. So yeah. Okay, player changes. The Templar now wakes on the Twilight Strand more in touch with his fate. Starting skill gem is Holy Strike, and starting support gem for Templar is a Hallow support. Honestly, that's like that by itself might tempt some players to just start Templar. Cause I don't know, it just feels nice to just have. You wake up on the strand, and then you get a skill that you actually want to use into your hands. Like if you think about it, that's like the real zero to hero experience, right? You wake up on the beach, you pick up a jet, and then with that skill you go on and then you steamroll through everything, up straight up to eldritch gods, eldritch entities at the end. I think that's pretty cool. Now, is Holy Strike gonna be the one that's really gonna do that? I don't know. We'll see. Token placement, channeling, intelligence, nerf. All sources of reduced reflected damage taken have been replaced. The percentage of damage cannot be reflected. Some legacy items will still have the old stats, however. Okay. And now this is gonna be a lot of, I don't know, here with the skill gem changes. And then here, if I hurry up, I might be able to catch up to the target. Okay, never mind. That's gone. The fast patch notes reading it was never a possibility. Let's be honest. I am too much of a yapping machine for that. Okay, schedule change. Holy Slam. Okay. Absolution. Okay. Animate Guardian of Smite. Okay. Charge Dash. Okay. Consider. Okay. Okay. Yeah, detonate the scavenging. 70 less damage from 60. Yep, that's again, nerf to the castman stunned stuff. Don't blow. Chance to summon normal sentinel. Also plays by hitting rare monsters. And the duration higher. Dominating blow of inspiring. Okay. Earth Shadow. That's a nerf. Energy Blade. That's a nerf. Holy Flame Totem. Okay, that's nice. More projectiles later. Flame of Ire. Okay, that's a nerf. Orb of Storms, support of the Spell Echo, Penance Brand. Okay. Production. Okay, Dissipation. Obviously that's nerfed. Yeah, the portal thing got nerfed. Yeah, I've heard about that one, the portal stuff, portal build, the school. Now it's gone. Purifying Flame Revelations. Okay. Okay, Spectres no longer gain a hidden more elemental damage bonus when converting their physical damage to the elemental. But then I've seen it in some other videos, comments, that is like actually it's a buff, because the meta Spectres are not converting their damage anyway. They are doing flat. Or like, yeah, they are not converting. So if they scale up their monster level more at gem levels past 20, that's also probably a bit stronger. I don't know. I haven't really played like a proper Spectre build. Like obviously I've played the builds that you have Spectres, but they weren't really the ones doing the damage. It was more of the Holy Relic. But yeah. Like Strike, Stormbrand, Summon Hollow Relic. That's the base one, not the Conviction. Holy Relic's Nova skills now grant more flat life region. Okay. I don't, yeah, okay. Cool, I guess. And your Sweep, Thunderstorm. Viper Strike of the Mamba, which I've heard many people be kind of bummed out about that. I think there's like a line here that is it's like it's to do it. Each weapon hits separately. Cannot inflict multiple poisons in the same hit. Yeah, I mean I haven't played it. But I see a bunch of people mentioned it's gotten hit pretty hard. So yeah, board gem changes. Okay, board gem changes. Awakened support gems can no longer be obtained, except for the the trio, the Empower, Enlighten, and the Enhance Awakened versions. Okay, divination cards temporarily disabled. Obviously Awakened gone. Huh? Exchange support gem for random exceptional support gem that now states you will receive random Empower, Enlighten, and Enhance. Is it just like the base versions? Looks like it. It's not very exciting, I suppose. Greater versions of supports no longer work alongside their non-greater versions. In similar ways, how non-awakened with supports did. So yeah, so basically the same thing. Both versions are seconded, the greater one takes priority, but obviously it's usually it would be it would not be something that people would do. Like you just I don't know, maybe this. No, I mean obviously if they work together, then if you want a bunch of projectiles, you would just like use GMP and then awaken GMP, and that would be insane, obviously. But yeah, I was more referring to the part that like both versions of the supporters socket in. Like obviously if it doesn't work, then you're not gonna do it. It'd just be funny when somebody like sockets a greater when nothing changes. Okay, I mean this is like me having a whole road, and I find a tiny little pebble, and I trip on the pebble and I get stuck here for inexplicable reasons. That is what happens here. Like now I start talking about this. Why? When I have all the other stuff. Okay. Moving on. Uh, multiple proj, GMP, volley, greater volley, spell greater spell. So yeah, that was basically what this refers to. And lesser multiple proj, renamed multiple proj. Okay. Auto exertion. Oh, auto exertion now has a mannerization 20%. Come on. No, I guess it's fine. I don't know. I don't really know if it's fine. I have no idea. I don't think I have ever played a build that was using that. So maybe. I don't know. Okay. So yeah. Heard of that. Chieftain 5% and 500% became 10% and to 50%. I guess it's more reliable, more smoother, but obviously less damage. But I mean, if I don't know how it if it actually like really works like that, right? Enemies you or your totem skill have 10% chance, because like if there's always enemies to kill, then it's kind of similar, right? Because like, you have like twice the procs, but for half the damage. But obviously that's not always the case. So Anyways, I haven't been playing Chieftain. Guess from Stun I was playing the other one. Anyway, the Guardian. Not Guardian. What am I talking about? Gladiator for the, triple block. But I guess that's kinda that's kind of meh because like you want the triple block, so you can like do like really early grueling. But I mean, I will have to see how it actually feels like, 'cause, like depending on like how rare it is. Because like some, what if you have like like 1 in 10 or like 1 in 20? I don't know. Then like it block, you cannot block, and then you can just dip. But I guess also if you think about it, I guess it's important once you actually are running the scarab of the catalyzing, I think the one, right? The one that, yeah, the one that changes, or is it the inscription? I think it's catalyzing and inscription. Yeah, I think it's catalyzing is the one that's like the expensive one. Anyways, the one because like before that, it doesn't really matter, I guess, if you just dip on the round, right? Like you see the cannot block and you just take whatever you have and you just peace out. Or I guess like very very edge cases when you exceed that and you see that it's a divine, and then you get the cannot block, then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to try and you run around and hope that it's gonna be enough to not get ruined by, well, ruin. So yeah, but that would also mean that you already have ruin, and then you get the cannot block. But I guess if you get the cannot block and you have to move on, I don't know. Or maybe you just don't run grueling gauntlet at all and you just never click it and then you're fine. But again, but then you kind of lose the triple block because then might as well not click the ruin in the first place, and then you're fine. I don't know. So I guess it's probably not. I'm probably not gonna be playing later with that if I still play that again. Anyways, it's this one's Chieftain. Yeah, Guardian got some cool stuff. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably good. Warden got some stuff. Bork. Okay. Never played it. No idea. Assassin. Provides damage cannot be reflected. Critical strike cannot be reflected. I don't think that's gonna save Assassin. Whatever. Saboteur got buff. And I don't know if this just got additional damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky, because I think that looks pretty good. If it's just a additional line for free, I guess. Okay, yeah, I've heard Elementalist got hit super hard. Ascendant. Okay, so it's same thing with this. It's just the same node from here. Bloodline changes. I don't know. Maybe there's like something cool here. Yeah, I've heard the ward stuff. Here is nice. I don't know. Haven't done that ever. So maybe this is gonna be the time. This is gonna be the league where I play. There's so many things that I have never done before, never played before. I'm like, do I want to do it now? Maybe later. But if you think about it, how few characters I'm actually rolling in a league, maybe this is gonna be different. Or maybe this is gonna be a league where I roll like 3 characters because I enjoy it so much. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know about these. We'll see. Converts 67% to chaos from 50%. I'm sure that's nice for something. I don't know. Does it really matter? Or like, do you get like extra damage if you like over convert? I don't know. And that used to be the thing. I don't know if that's still a thing. Anyways, passive skill 3 changes. Okay, I'm losing steam. I'm losing steam a little bit. Okay, what's this? Clusters. Templar. Accuracy. Consecrated. Okay. 50% of damage from your hits cannot be reflected, so like more tools for dealing with reflect. I mean, at this point we have like so many tools to deal with reflect. So yeah, this is the one I think, yeah, the defiant force is notable passive no longer refreshes the duration of ignite on enemies you curse, and instead has curse skills have 15% increased cast speed, which is very funny because this is also something that I should have been using and I was not using, and so now it's nerfed, and then it's, oh, what on earth, and I'm like, oh yeah, but I guess it doesn't really matter to me because I haven't been using it, even though I should have. Anyways, yeah, so that's the thing. Evasion edge, shield mastery, 1% increased evasion rating per 10 int. Yeah, again, int stacking. Hit. Oh, is this one? I think this is the one that might be also relevant, right? The 50% chance to refresh ignite duration critical strike has been replaced with mastery granting fire dot and increased ignite duration on you. Maybe this was the one. Maybe like both of those were the ones. I seem to recall that there was also, people using this one. I think this one was the more important though, right? Which is, again, why did I not use it? I don't know. Unique item changes. Binos, buff. Yeah, this is the one, the blood notch. Existing items can be made worse with the divine orb. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the divine orb to make it work. Yeah. Obviously, in hindsight, it feels bad, like not having a 60% one, because I'm pretty sure, like, right after the change, like it just skyrocketed. I'm pretty sure. Might be still worth a check, but I'm pretty sure everything that's in the stash tabs that people left there, I'm pretty sure they're all gone already. Yeah, but otherwise, obviously, cut in half, big hit, but I'm pretty sure it's because, I mean, to do this, right, to do the ultimate AFK stuff, you just have to not die. So as long as you don't die, the build functions, or like the strategy functions. But it didn't really look like it was like touched. And if you think about it, I don't know how it's, because like in some ways it could also be nice if you think that, okay, so like there's this whole perception kind of thing, and then how many people do actually think that it's bad, or is it like it wasn't insane. It just did what it was supposed to do, like that one thing, basically. I guess like two things, but for me, it was just one thing, because like the quote unquote setup that I was running, and that was not able to do simulacrums. It was just not able to do. So it was ultimatum only. So if a lot of people don't do it anymore, or perceive it as something that is like not worth doing anymore, then less competition, so to speak, or maybe less people are wanting the scarabs, or maybe the scarab prices are going down. And also something to consider is that the mirage mechanic, so it would like double up on the ultimatums, and it would keep the crafting stuff like the scarabs and whatnot that you apply to it. So like you basically have two ultimatums in one map, if I understand it correctly, right? From Mirage stuff. So yeah, depending on, because like if it's if it changes the same way, but like yeah, we'll see. Like I'm not entirely, I haven't entirely given up on it, because like if it's something that can be done, then and the gladiator stuff is, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say that it's entirely useless, right? Because like even if you think about just not doing, not going for like the early grueling gauntlet, I think you can, obviously depending on how the crest prices are at like the early stages, or how the nerf Blood Notch is gonna be now. Because I mean, it's still, you know, we'll see. Because like if it's, you know, Blood Notch can, if it's cheap enough, or like the Zari Crest is cheap enough, I mean, preferably both of those at the same time. My idea is just potentially picking whatever class I want to play later, and then I can just find the sweet spot where I can do the ultimatum and just, you know, level up, you know, gain XP. Because ideally I could just, you know, push it, go to sit in ultimatums until level 100. Ideally I gain currency along the way, and then I can respec into the build that I actually want. Because I feel, because the core, you can make the core work with basically any class, but is that necessarily worth it? Or could I just pick any other, you know, build, or like not any, but one of the many other options, and actually play the game and get to like the same point where I would, you know, respec? I don't know. I just feel like I could, you know, especially if the perception is that it's hit too hard for it to be worth it. I don't know. I'm still kind of holding on to uh the Caspian Stunned dream, which is the dream of not doing anything. That's the dream. And then, you know, get some, you know, currency and items, and then I can go and actually complete challenges, because that's another aspect of it, right? Because like usually it would be like, okay, you got to the Mage Blood, and like now you have freedom of gearing, because you have covered basically your resistances, and you have covered your ailment immunities and whatnot, and then you have freedom of just getting other stuff on your gear instead. And if you like combine the two, like combine the supreme ostentation that I like to run, and then you also don't have to worry about attributes, and you can tattoo over everything, and then you basically just like, you know, life and damage, basically life, damage, and defense, I guess, or whatever you need to function. Yeah, and then but it's like by the time you get to the Mage Blood, you're like, okay, well, I'm kind of done now. There isn't really much to play for. But in this, you know, new challenge league scenario, then you have the challenges, which is a main focus of mine and many others as well. So if I see a good line that I would just, you know, sit still in ultimatums until a certain point, and then, like I said, respect the character itself, because again, I usually don't want to reroll a new character. But I mean, you know, if I misjudge at the start, you know, and I pick a character and I realize that the build that I want to play is actually in a different character, then, you know, that's unfortunate. But really, like I said at the very beginning, I kind of, you know, just considering rolling the Scion, getting into like the baseline. Like first of all, find something that can, you know, complete some of the atlas at least. I don't want to, you know, be sitting there with like no atlas. But also, if you think about it, you could just, you know, start from, because like my main pain point is I don't really know how many atlas points I actually need. Because like if you think about it, if I just have enough atlas points to take the ultimatum stuff, then I can just, you know, start from whatever tier of maps, and whatever tier I can actually handle, and then I can just chain run the ultimatums, and I just work my way up. And yeah, that would be fine, because it doesn't, regardless of how hard these nerfs are hitting the various angles, there is no way that you cannot get to the point where you're running the the tier 16 scour map ultimatums. Although I don't know I don't know how much potentially mirage could add to the difficulty. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, again, plan is Simon with Reliquarian, hopefully doing something interesting, and then I respect into that. Okay. Bunch of unique item changes here. Not that many. I've heard this one is interesting. Treats enemy monster chaos resistance values as inverted and no longer has hits with this weapon shock enemies although dealing 300% more damage. Existing version of this item is unaffected by its change. There is really a little bit of a question of why exactly. Like what has enough chaos resistance that you would actually benefit from treating the enemies as inverted? I don't really know. I'm confused. Maybe I'm like misunderstanding something. Because I mean, I don't know, because like generally other stuff, I think maybe like other res, it has like value, right? Treating it as inverted, but I don't know. I don't think chaos res in like I don't think the content has that high of a chaos res for it to be that good. So also, like you can't really. I don't know. I wonder if there's like a way to actually raise the enemy scale stats, because like maybe there is something like that. Like I don't really know everything in the game, right? Maybe there's like some fun shenanigans. Like maybe there is something where the trade-off is that the enemies have very very high kill stress, and then you can like swap that as inverted. That could be like if I even understand inverted res properly, because like let's say something is saying is like, okay, these enemies have like now they have 70% or 75 or 80 or whatever chaos res. That would be like obviously pretty rough, and then you treat it as inverted, and then suddenly you have 20. Maybe but if that doesn't exist, then it's just nothing. I don't know, because I've seen people mentioning that they were playing with voltaxic rift, and they are not super happy about the change, because it doesn't really doesn't really feel good. It doesn't really make sense. But if there is like something that can turn like a downside into an upside with this, then maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that got nerfed as well. Over Incarnation Fear. Haven't played with it, but something was there. Alright. Item changes. Currency items now account for a significantly larger portion of dropped items. This changes to allow currency rewards from slaying of enemies to be more competitive with other sources of it in the game. That's nice. Yep. No, it doesn't mean scrolls of wisdom and portal scrolls. Yeah. Non-unique items are approximately 6% less common as a result of this change. Obviously, we wouldn't really pick them up anyway, so pretty fine. Lowered how much modifier tier rating is granting the rare enemies. So yeah, King's March, Gambling, Nemesis, Genesis 3. Relative rarities of several currencies have been adjusted. Exalted and Regal orders will now be comparatively more common. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I feel like Regal orders were so worthless the last time. But exalted Markham is nice. Penalty to gold and map drops and breach and blight monsters. Okay, I guess. I mean, I guess like all I need is just enough gold so I can trade. That's all I want. All the Kingsmarch stuff, I don't care. All I care about is just having enough to trade. That's it. I'd say that now, but maybe this is the time where I decide play around with Kingsmarch again. Maybe never say never. But based on my recent behavior, I don't think I will play Kingsmarch. Okay, as long as we send your rings, cures, it's a cannot be reflected stuff. So these, I don't know, they just did like a pass on reflect, like tools to deal with reflect. It's nice, I suppose. Okay, justified ambition can once more reward Cortex. Cluster nerfed. Poisons was nerf. Small attack block cluster, fiery eggs and holy word. I don't know what they do. Rune depth of refraction no longer has skills chain additional time. Projectiles chain additional time. Supposedly, yeah. See, like kinetic blast of something. I think that was the one that this touches on. Removed all crafts that an enchant flask from the horticrafting bench. Huh. Oh, I see. So like the thing where you like craft the like, because I remember I think aside from seeing it when Ben was doing the like gauntlet bosses or whatnot, I don't think I've really seen other people do it. But yeah, I guess they removed it. I guess that's something. Okay. Remove all crafts that enchant flask. Or yeah, that was the one that I already read. Okay. Beast crafting recipe to apply Hinakor reflect magic item can no longer be used on corrupted items. Oh yeah, I mean that was probably a oversight. I mean, I'm sure someone someone was able to find a way to benefit from that. Oh, that is a huge change. All essences now have a maximum stack size of 10. Bless. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, it's kind of annoying that you try because like for everything else in life, I guess you go with the tens and then you have the 9 here and like, oh, I'm not trying to scam. I'm just struggling with with counting the essences. But I guess these days that I guess you're just doing it with the currency tab. But even then, it's kind of weird. Like, oh, I bought 10 essences and then you have a 9 stack and then you have one left over. Like, okay. Anyways, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, I kind of felt it like it's like kind of a thematical purpose, like vibe based, why it's like 9 and not 10. But yeah, I think we're like because like it was like 9 because it's like like 1 and then to 3 and then to 9. So like that tripling, right? Because like as you rank or like you exchange them up, right? Like you have 3 and then it exchanges to like the 1 tier higher and then etc up to the top. So like it makes sense why it was 9, but overall I think it's fine. It's nice that it goes to 10. Yeah. Clarified some descriptions on cluster 2 notable such purposeful harbinger and follow through to make it clearer that the caps are global. This is purely a descriptive change. Okay. All unique maps now have a fee of around 2,000 gold and purchasing per merchant tab. I think that's nice. I think they were like much steeper in some cases. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I seem to recall that there were some that were like quite a bit more than 2,000. So I guess that's nice. Itemized beasts have vastly lower gold fees, and their gold fees no longer depend on the modifiers on the itemized beasts. That's nice because that would be kind of funny, right? Like different mods, and it's like, oh, why is this much and why the other one that much when they are both the same beasts that do the same thing, but they have like different mods. Obviously, that's why they had like different gold fees. Ruthless specific changes, very important. The quick step scale now has 200% increased cooldown recovery rate if used while no enemies are in your presence. The paths not taken Atlas Keystone grants maps have an extra random prefix or suffix and suffix while 6 gateways are allocated. I don't know what's going on in Ruthless. I don't know if those are like good or bad things. They happened. Okay, monster changes. Reduce the damage dealt by Rusty Crusher's shock rifle ability by 15%. Okay, something was happening there, I guess. That's like the only monster change. Yeah. Okay. Oh, quest reward changes. That can be nice. Okay. Holy Strike can now be purchased from Nessa by the Scion. Upon completing enemy at the gate. Enemy at the gate. I mean, the enemy at the gate is like the starting right away, right? Because like Hillock is the enemy at the gate, right? I think that's like the start. Okay. Hello support can now be purchased from Nessa the Templar. With the gate. Yeah. And then Mercy Mission is the flask. Right? Yeah, the Mercy Mission is when you go to the and go and pick up the one that the Hailrick, the cold dude on the island. Yeah, okay. So that elemental prolif for the Templar, Shield of Light, Exemplar, Sport, Divine Blast, Blessed Call, and Excommunicate. So it's like Templar stuff. Okay, UI, quality of life. Yo, that was the ritual stuff. That was like, cool details on hover, sale, favorites, nice. Can open the stash file on the trade UI, or I mean the currency exchange UI. That's nice. I want or I have immediately set focus as search input field. That's so good. That's so good. I can't tell the amount of times that I was like, okay, I want, and then I start typing, and then I start doing some random actions, and I realize like, oh, I have to go in there. I have to click in there. Yeah. So that's very nice. Okay, Labcraft, I don't care. Wait, no, I do care. Okay, I do care. I said I don't care, but I do care, right? Because like you want to transfer your gems, and then you can just select it when there are like multiple. That's nice. Heist display cases. Okay, I don't care about heist. Excavated monsters. Okay. Quick use currency buttons. Ritual shrines. Okay. Auto-click div cards. Automatically turn them in. That's nice because like that's another way of kind of avoiding the classic situation, which may or may not have happened with many people, right? The one that you think that you're turning it in, and then you kind of just autopilot and you turn it in, and you're like, wait a second, I didn't turn it in, I sold it. Yeah, because like now it's like you turn it in once you click on it, and then you don't have to actually press like a sell button or confirm button, which is obvious. Like if for an outsider looking in, you see someone selling it instead of turning it in, and it's like, what are you doing? But then if you're like in the flow and if you're thinking about something else, you're just going through the inputs, and then it can happen. Luckily, it hasn't happened with me. Especially not with anything valuable. But yeah, overall it's like nice, less clicking. Yep, it's nice. So I don't care. I added a buff icon for easier tracking of dead orb specters. I think that's nice. I think it's nice. Made shrines easier to highlight even surrounded by enemies. You know, in the showcase as well, the classic divine shrine situation where like you're trying to run in like they're not they can't they are immortal because of divine shrine obviously, and then it can be a bit annoying. So it's nice, and not just for divine shrine but for other stuff as well. Like you want to get in and picking up the shrine as soon as possible. Aiding an archivist quest no longer shows on the quest tracker when not in Act 10. That's nice. Going King's March, no longer show on the quest tracker in towns outside of the Karui Shores. Nice. Eternal Orbs can now be traded via the currency exchange in standard leagues. Okay. Covering an item by applying a Divine Orb, yeah, or a Blessed Orb, highlights the specific modifier values that will be rerolled. Again, nice. Added UI feedback for when the Mythic Orb destroys the target item. That's nice, but also it was funny. It was like, poof, it's gone. And then there's no UI. That was also funny. But I guess it can't hurt to have it. The key byte for hot swapping a currency to select the currency by repeatedly applying currency to items can now be customized via the options menu. Again, I think that's gonna be nice, especially if I play with controller. Maybe I don't even know because maybe the default is already nice. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much I'm actually gonna do with controller because maybe I'm just play the controller otherwise, and then I just bite the bullet and then I relog, and then I have keyboard mouse for doing inventory management, crafting and whatnot. But other thing is that I'm starting to feel it again, the double clicking or not clicking with the mouse, which is it's something that it was like an issue like quite a while ago, but then I kind of got over it somewhat kind of got over it somehow. But now I'm starting to feel it again quite a bit. Obviously it would just be like very very small switches, like not even expensive. Like getting it is very very cheap if you get it from like I don't know some random place, but there isn't really like a physical pay store. I want to say place and I want to say store at the same time. So this is I don't at least I don't know which one it is, if there is one where I could just go in person and just pick it up. But the switches themselves are not expensive at all if I would just actually get them. Yeah, and then you just change them, and then I would just have a new lease on life with the mouse. I mean, I'm gotta do it eventually, but for now, I just decided I just have the controller, and then hopefully there's like stuff I can do in PoE aside from just the running around gameplay. But like hopefully I can find a way to get used to the navigation overall with the controller. We'll see. I mean, if it's really bad, then obviously I still have the keyboard mouse, and then just like I said, relog and do it that way. It's nice that I don't, especially if I start with automatons, I don't really have to roll the maps all that much. I don't know. We'll see. Where was I? Yeah, here the currency. Which is why I started on a tangent again. What else? Map items are no longer required to set guild tags. That's okay. The reclaim guild tag items chat command can be used to reclaim the items from the old guild tag inventory. So like the maps that are, yeah, the the way that you had to set guild tags. I think it was kind of cool. Also, at the same time, it's gone. Like, okay, it's gone. It's fine that it is not a thing anymore. The arrows at the edge of the Lycia bloodline is Sensic-less artwork. Okay. Are now 100% aligned with the chevrons of the Witch, Dualist, and Science starting locations. Previously 0% aligned. Okay, that's funny. I mean, I guess like you're either aligned or not. Yeah, those can be. It's like a small thing, and it's not like impactful on a larger scale, but it's still, if you notice it, you can't unnotice it. That kind of thing, and it's just gonna be there to taunt you. Oh, I just realized the same thing with the map. That is like solved in a way, right? Because we had the whole, like, when you have all the slots unlocked in the map device, it's not like entirely symmetrical and with the slots. So there's like a bit of a difference between certain lines, and if you notice it, it's a bit not entirely aligned, like they said here. And instead of having to fix that, now there's the whole change the map device, and now you just have a line where you put the scarabs and whatnot. And now the problem is gone. The problem is solved. Just not in the way that I or I guess he expected. But honestly, I wasn't holding my breath on that one. Who's gonna fix the alignment on the map device, scarab slots? But in the end, we got there. Templar's long neck. I think that's gonna be what it is. I guess it's at this point. It's not a bug. It's a feature, but I guess it's still kind of awkward how all the MTX just. Not all of them. Maybe there's like a few that is like actually looking good, but most of the MTXs are how they are like falling into like they are kind of collapsed into the body of the Templar. The Templar is weird. Templar's model is weird. I don't know. That was a time where I was a lot more annoyed with that than I am now. I guess my solution was just don't play Templar, and that was the solution. I don't know. And also, to be honest, it's not like I really see my MTX anyway under all the lights and all the other MTX. So it's not like it's even that impactful. Even if I am playing Templar, I don't know. I think that ship has sailed. I don't know if that's ever gonna be fixed or changed. I don't know. Maybe at this point more people would be upset that they lose the long neck of the Templar. But I mean, the long neck is a thing. Like that's perfectly fine. I don't mind that. The other part is what I really mind is how the MTX looks on it. Anyways, added reminder text for fleeing, granted by example by chance to flee support. Okay. When using a controller, the Atlas passive tree will now display a confirmation prompt if attempting to close it with pending changes. Okay, that's nice. Added the ability to filter out offline guild members when using a controller. Okay. The right shoulder R1 can now be used to take reward items out of the divination window when using a controller. Added an alternate behavior to raise zombie that allows you to target the spell in front of you when using a controller. Added navigational inputs for currency and fragment substashes when using a controller. Now this is the part, like the controller part, I did not care a single second about this until now. Okay, like obviously I care to the extent that I want everyone to have a good time, right? Like it doesn't matter what controller you're using or if you're playing on console or playing on PC. Ideally, I want everyone to have a good time playing PoE, obviously. But on a personal level, I didn't really care about what happened with controllers, right? But now suddenly that I'm thinking I'm gonna be using a controller, even though I'm still on PC, but I'm gonna be using a controller. Suddenly, I obviously take a lot more interest in controller related lines in the patch notes. So yeah. So I'm sure, for example, in navigational inputs for currency and fragment substashes when using a controller, I'm sure that's pretty nice. MTX update. Enable the Last of Druids mystery box and its microtransaction contents for use in Path of Exile. Enable the Blood Moon level up extra effect MTX for use in Path of Exile. Okay. Bug fixes. And then I'm almost done, and it's only gonna be 2 hours. Bug fixes. Fix the bug where a light highborn monster could incorrectly be raised as specters. A light hiveborn monster. Oh, so that's like the graph that like gives you a light expired. Maybe those will be able to raise specters. I mean, I don't think they were really OP or anything, so I don't think anyone really got any benefit out of this. So yeah. Fixed a bug where the locus mind support and room for refraction did not correctly interact with kinetic blast of clustering's number of explosions or spectral helix's number of bounces. So yeah, kinetic blast of clustering is probably nerfed with the bug fix, right? Haven't played it, don't know. But I assume. Fix the bug where triggered skills such as kinetic flux, kinetic stability support, poet span. Okay. Poet span haven't played with that in a while. Fix the bug where skills supported by living lightning support. No. Okay, so there's like some restrictions being bypassed. Shield charge being supportable by multi-strike support. I mean, is that really such a big deal if shield charge? But I guess if it's like unintended behavior, then I guess yeah. There's a reason why you are not able to do it. Fix the bug where orbs that jump towards terrain from stormburst could sometimes get stuck. Okay. Dream within dream achievement could not be completed. Incarnation of Dread's lightning tendrils skills that could persist under Dread. I don't know if there's something in here about, Maven witnessed Elder bug. Because I did have the opportunity of getting that. or experiencing that. Right before I peaced out from the, Precia 2.0. I thought I was like, oh, I'm just gonna run one, and I got the bug. I didn't get loot, but that's okay. Okay, so that was even in the bug fixes, I find a way to derail myself. Okay, that was Dream Dread Lightning Trend. Okay, that's where I was. All right, fix the bug where. So I assume that fixed the bug where having multiple level. Yeah, so I think that's actually important. This one. Fix the bug where having multiple evolving shrine buffs ignore the reduced chance for monsters to upgrade rarity every time a monster upgrades rarity. So yeah, like that was the one where you had like two evolving shrines, and then it shouldn't do anything. It should just extend the duration, but instead they kind of ignore the reduced chance monster, and that's why it was so good. You're like, it was like better than before. Evolving shrine nerfs. Obviously now they are fixed. Now the bug is fixed, and now it's not a thing anymore. Well, yeah, I've heard that was a thing. Fix the bug where spectral shield throw shattering could pierce, even though they stated that they could not. I don't know. I mean, it's probably a nerf now. Then it was fixed. I don't know how often they could pierce, so maybe they stated that they could not, but then they did. I don't know. No, I'm just being. Oh, I'm always being like a bit introspective on changes when there was like a skill that I guess wasn't like on top of everything, but maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. Everyone, I guess, everyone has their own, blind spots in like something like a build that you haven't looked at or you haven't heard about that much, but then they are actually a lot better than you actually perceived them to be. But what I'm trying to get at is this is like good pairs, even though they stated that they could not, and then they fixed the bug, which was a bug, but I don't know how much that changes the performance of the skill. Like maybe someone was like enjoying it, and then I don't know. It just they are in a way basically nerfs, but it feels a bit different when they say they come out. Oh, this skill was too strong. Then we nerfed it like numerically, but it's also different. It's like, oh, that was an unintended behavior, and now I don't pierce, and now I don't know how much that impacts my damage. Yeah. Anyways, I haven't played Spectral Shield Throw, so I don't know how impactful the bug fix is. Yeah, Static Strike beams could target chests it could not open. Oh, I mean that's probably annoying. Where you could gain the Static Strike buff from hitting a chest. Maybe not annoying. I don't know. Is it? Oh, that's annoying. Oh, maybe that was a good thing. I mean, it was a beneficial bug. Let's go. I don't know. Because like obviously on one level, there are bugs that are. There is a reason why there was a restriction, and then the restriction didn't work in certain cases, and now it's fixed, and now the restriction that was set works. But sometimes it feels like who was hurt by that bug existing kind of situation. But I guess targeting chests they could not open, that can be like kind of annoying. But then you get the buff. I don't even know how Static Strike plays, like how impactful that is that you gain the buff from hitting a chest. I don't know. Maybe you can like get the. No, I don't want to speculate because I don't really know how it plays. Overall, visuals of Shockwave Totem. Okay, bug, Orb of Storms, bug chance to bleed. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't support spell because it doesn't do anything with spell. Rupture support, same thing. All skill used by totems. Continue to apply new soul gain prevention whenever the totem uses the skill and not just when the totem is placed. Yeah, I mean that's annoying. Fixed a bug when a torment scarab stated it granted 3, but it only granted 2. So that's a buff for rootless, right? Because now it actually grants 3. Fixed the bug with the champion ascendancy where you could count as gaining fortification where you have your maximum fortification from a fortitude ascendancy notable. This will prevent triggering effects like losing endurance charges when you gain fortification on a replica badge of the Brotherhood unique amulet. Okay, now I read it, now I have to understand it. The bug. So yeah, first of all, champion. You play champion. Fortification. Oh. Oh. So you just had permanently. So you were permanently gaining fortification while you had maximum fortification. So, I mean that sounds pretty strong, no? Or but in the first place I don't even know, like because like I on baseline I would think that losing endurance charges is not a good thing, but sometimes you want to use or want to lose charges or use. So I guess overall that's a nerf. I don't know how many people were using that or playing around that. Fix the bug where your hits cannot penetrate or ignore elemental resistance to abhorrent interrogation unique gloves, preventing was preventing you from penetrating chaos threads as well as elemental. I don't think I've ever used that glove issue where the buff granted by unique steel worm quiver. Again, I don't think I've used that either. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So that was the one that I was thinking about, or like not just me but others as well. Right, the relation to the new, not new. It's the tier 0, the lightning claw, energy shield, ghost reaver claw. They got like buffed, I guess. And in relation to that, it came up that 10% of leeches in stun per equipped claw passive skill mastery did not specify that this applied to life leech. This is not a functional change, purely a correction of a description error. Hmm. Maybe it was like mana leech. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. That's a distinct possibility. So yeah, I guess because like if it's leech, then you could say that okay, leech could be mana leech as well. Because like if it's ghost river, then a life leech turns into energy leech. I don't even remember. Again, ghost river is like, it was so long time ago when I used that. There's just so many builds, and especially if I default to like the same build in multiple leagues in a row, then it's gonna be like I've only played a very small percentage of skills overall, and then I realized that there's a bunch of things I don't actually know, right? So there's so many possibilities, so many builds I either haven't played at all or I haven't played in such a long time that it has changed entirely. So I think I could really use some you could really use League when I would reroll multiple times, make multiple characters, and play skills that I haven't played before. I mean, it's not that it's not enjoyable playing Holy Relic every single time, but considering that I've already been playing Holy Relic in Keepers, and then I've been playing it every time since then. It's a lot of Holy Relic. It's a lot of Holy Relic. And it's very comfy, and it's disturbingly comfortable, right? Because like so hard to find something else or pick something else when you know how reliable it is. But then you are playing the old reliable, and then you just complete the challenges and you get through everything, and it's like, well, now I'm done with the league, waiting for the next one. And that's kind of a suffering from success kind of situation. It's not that I ever, even when I got to like end game, I never really got, because like there's you hit dot cap with like every poison, but you hit the dot cap, and then from there you're just going for you know more defense, or more quality of life kind of stuff, more speed obviously with but it's like more like movement speed. So there's like a certain cap on how hard you can go with it. And yeah, I feel like every time when I get to that point where I could like, okay, do I push this further? Do I make a new build where I can, use my items and currency that I have to be faster, to hit harder? Because like there's obviously a lot of room above the poison cap damage wise, but there's not necessarily that many reasons to go to that point, aside from like the big juice strategies that I haven't really partaken in at all. So yeah, I am a I'm an experienced noob in a way. There's like a point where I'm like, I'm done. I'm satisfied. I'm ready to move on. And if you pair that with playing some somewhat inefficiently, So like I'm kind of covering my time with a lot of gameplay, but it's not necessarily like a pure gameplay or not efficient gameplay. And I get to a point where I'm like, I could get a better weapon, or I could get a better, gear, a better cluster jewels or whatnot. But I'm like, why? What's the point? That kind of stuff. But the whole thing is like setting goals for yourself anyway. The challenges are like a very good through line that I can follow, and just have just fun, just filling up the checklist. So I wonder if I can like maybe just try to hypnotize myself into thinking that I set myself challenges as if they were a part of the 40 challenges, let's say. Like for example, I've seen someone, some people do that. They just decided that they do the challenge in a way that they are doing everything, like every line in there. Like not just, if you have like complete 5 out of these, and then they complete every single line. And that's when they failed every line, that's when they deem it fully completed. That's kind of neat. But at the same time, that would mean that I would have to run lab. I would have to run lab a certain amount of times, for example. Which I'm not saying I always hate lab, because when I have a build that is coincidentally trivializes the lab, that I can just sit in all the traps and it doesn't hurt. That's when I like the lab. And then the traps actually hurt, I just want to get out. Because I'm very prone to just, the classic situation where like the trap moves, like there's the what's it called? The one that the pillar that is like spinning and it has like spikes coming out of it, and then as it moves, I am moving with it, and I just die. Because I'm like, instead of running away from it, I just follow the line. Just run with it. I stay inside, and obviously I run out of HP. But yeah, when I can't trivialize the lab, I don't enjoy it, which probably means that I just shouldn't play it in the first place. Anyways, but there are other certain types of challenges that I could set it myself. Oh, maybe I just have mirror tier gear on every piece, for example, or just get like a certain amount of mirrors, or other kinds of goals. Like I've seen the gallery of someone who is like going for every Fireborn unique. That was kind of neat. It was probably a lot of work and a lot of currency to do. Also, you need stash steps to put them, so it looks good. Meanwhile, I'm always filling up my stash steps with garbage. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, the leech. Fix the bug where increased quantity of gold dropped by slain enemies only apply to enemies you killed with hits rather than any kill attributed to you. Wait. Huh? Does that mean that all the minion stuff and totem stuff was nerfed by gold? Nerfed with gold? I don't know. I hope not. That would be kind of annoying. That I was running with reduced gold all this time. Maybe. I don't know. Visible where incarnation of Dread's roses could reappear uninteractable objects who died and re-entered the arena just after completing Rose Phase. Okay. I don't think I've encountered that one. Fix the bug where turning gems could sometimes look for expedition gem chests instead of only dropping from heist gem chests. Okay. Same thing. Haven't encountered that. Fix the bug where price of protection divination card not correctly generated corrupted. Okay. Herald of the Hive, lost unity. Unable to break pots and destructible objects. Okay. Oh, fix the bug where critical strikes dealing cold damage could not stun targets immune to freeze, or targets that had critical strikes against you do not inherently inflict elemental ailments. So yeah, that could be relevant for the cast when stunt stuff if it was actually uh causing an issue. But obviously it's hard to tell because there's a bunch of monsters hitting you. So usually, even if this happened, all the other minions would hit you, and you would still get stunned. But that could be something that has a somewhat positive impact. Fix the bug where changing areas with weapon set 2 active could cause players to need to hit weapon swap twice in order to swap the weapon set. Oh, so that's why that was a thing. Okay, I mean obviously I just rolled with it and I just realized that was a thing. I just hit it twice, but I guess that was the reason. Changing areas. Okay, okay, now it makes sense. Fix the rare bug where capturing beasts could sometimes fail to add them to your menagerie. That's kinda awkward, yeah. Fix the bug where certain monsters could grant an unintended amount of ritual tribute. So yeah, that's nerf, basically. Nerf bug fix. Fix the rare bug where the King of the Mist wouldn't phase into tree form. Okay, so yeah, that was the one where, yeah, that happens. I don't know if that's the same bug that was like that I ran into once or twice, and it would just stop there, and I would not be able to progress, and that was dud. That invite or that entry, maybe that's the same thing. Fix the bug where Defiance Banner Dreadbanner could generate with quality when obtained with Siosa in Rootless. Now that is a very interesting bug, like such an edge case. I mean, first of all, you'd have to play Rootless, but I guess and it could generate. That's interesting. Just got surprised with some extra quality. I assume you probably wouldn't even be able to get enough to properly abuse it, so to speak. Because like, okay, you got one that is quality. It's not like you can buy a bunch and then you can sell it for GCP. I don't know if you have enough currency to even buy multiple in Rootless. I don't know. Fixed an issue where Trident gems could not be obtained from heist in Rootless. Okay, Rootless. Alright. Fix the bug. Summon Spectral Wolf was displaying an incorrect amount of maximum life for the wolves in that character panel. Okay. I suppose. I don't know if they were displaying more or less how incorrect it was. But okay. Fix the bug where maps which were mirrored would highlight when crafting with a delirium orb, despite the orb not being able to be applied. Oh. Fix the bug where opening the reflecting mist UI didn't pause the game. Oh, that was supposed to pause the game? Okay. I guess. I didn't know that was supposed to pause the game. I just thought that okay, it doesn't pause the game. I didn't think about how that was a bug or not. Thought that was normal. Fix the bug where certain league rewards are not generating a rootless if they try to generate as unique items. Lol. Fix the bug where some incursion specific caster modifiers could roll on attack ones. I wonder if someone was taking advantage of that. Fix the bug where using a Vault Orb and an Essence did not reward the Essence Corruption achievement, and updated the achievement description to state that the Vault Orb is required. Okay. Fix the bug where it was possible to get stash affinities and remove only tabs. You still couldn't put anything in these tabs, of course. Which like, okay. Fix the bug where Oak, Alira, and Creighton would make a reappearance as spectators during the Act 7 Relicash boss fight. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Fix the bug where in some cases in party play, Thunderstorm did not visually grow in size for other players. It could be invisible. Okay. Fixed an issue where level up effects were visually unimpressive the first time they occurred in a play session. I yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that many people, if you're using level up effects, you probably encountered this because like first time, there's always gonna be a first time. So yeah. Now that I think about it, I wonder if there was like really, because I mean I always like break up my play sessions a lot, like a log out, log in, that kind of stuff. So I don't even know how many times. I'm just thinking if it happened. So I'm thinking if the actual intended visual happened enough times for me to notice. Because if every first time it's visually unimpressive, then maybe I just always thought that it was visually unimpressive for the most part. I'm pretty sure I have level up effects equipped, but I also didn't really I don't really remember a time when I was like, oh yes, that's the level up effect. I see it. So maybe maybe now that it's actually gonna be uh more remarkable. Fix the bug where overlapping alarm lights in heist areas were creating visual artifacts. Yes, probably good thing to fix. Fix the bug in the incarnation of Dread, Fight, or Rose could be visible but not able to be collected. Fix the bug where unsupported character glyph was showing in the 1000th place for certain locales. Okay. Fix the bug where word by word text navigation, control plus left and right in text fields would incorrectly wrap to the end of the text input in some situations. Now I have learned that there is a thing that you can do, the word by word text navigation, control left and right. Although it's probably not like from PoE, it's probably a thing that is something that you can do in general. But I don't think because there are like things that you just never do because never occurs to you to actually just try it. There's like a bunch of things in like UI navigation as well. Like I never for a long time, many years, it never really occurred to me that I would like control click the NPC, for example, or shift click or whatever, or like trying all the variations to see what they do or what happens, even though they are quite useful. I guess it never really occurred to me. And but the funny part is like obviously by myself it wouldn't occur, but I should have realized at some point at least whenever I was actually watching someone else play the game that they are running at the NPC and then they click on it and then it opens a different menu than what it would open for me when I clicked on it. I should probably question these kind of things more. Like, oh, why is it opening that menu for them? And why not for me? Because like no, because like, no one's really gonna say like, oh, now I'm gonna control click this NPC. They just do it, and then there are the people who know how they are doing it, and then they don't mention it because for them it's obvious. And then there are the people who don't know how they're doing it, and they might not even register that they are doing something different. At least that was for me. And then at some point someone is like, oh, how are you doing that? Asking someone else, and then they're like, oh, this way. I'm like, oh, wait a second, that's actually a thing. There's always something new to discover still, especially when things are changing, right? Like there are things that like, oh, I can't believe I didn't know this in X amount of years, and then it was not like a PoE thing, it was like a Lost Ark thing. Then you can like rotate the character or like the when you press B and then open up the profile. And then someone was like, "Oh, I've been playing for this amount of years and I didn't know." And then someone in comments say, "Oh yeah, because they edited this patch." Like, okay, yeah. It's like there are those kinds of new things that are actually new, and it's not just you that didn't know about them. Anyways, so yeah, that was a very very quick, very swift rundown of the patch. It was only 2 hours and some minutes. Yeah, yeah. I should have known that I am physically incapable of just blasting through the notes. Like really, my plan was just like going through and like, yep. But in the end, I ended up stopping at a bunch of places. So yeah, that's the new league. Mirage. Now that okay, you know what? Now that it doesn't matter. It's so long. No one's gonna watch it anyway. So might as well go to the actual league content as well. Once more, take on a rogue sect of the Ferridan, as they sap the energies of captured Jinn for nefarious ends, and help a legendary Maraket Sekima. Sekema? I don't know how the right way that would exactly pronounce it properly with the necessary gravitas. Anyways, help a legendary Maraket Sekima to put an end to an ancient war once and for all. The Eferud. Eferud? Ferud? If it's Feridin, then Ferud? The Eferud? The most depraved and twisted of the Feridan have formed a pact with Saresh, a powerful necromancer who built an army of undead to seek revenge on the Marquette, denied their twisted efforts towards dominion by joining forces with Verashta and freeing the spirits of Jinn before the Ferud can accomplish their goals. You will find, I don't know where the find came from, you will encounter the physical form of trapped Jinn, imprisoned and tortured by Ferid warlocks. After successfully defeating them, you will be asked by Varashta to enter the astral realm, a mirage containing an imperfect copy of the world around you, which would be centered as far as we know, right? Like kind of. I don't know if it's like 100% guaranteed because like that's you could have like multiple mechanics in the map. So I don't know how it would like fully prioritize based on what scarabs you are running or what your atlas tree looks like, or if it's like something that you could like influence while you are already in the map. But generally, from what we've heard, it should be that they are that's like the mirage space is gonna be including like the mechanic that you are focusing on, so you can like double up on them. But I don't know if that's like 100% of it is gonna be like, or sometimes it just spawns in a different place because there's a random league mechanic that just spawned on the base spawn chance, and maybe the game decided, okay, this is the league mechanic that you are running, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that even if it's not like 100%, then overall it's gonna be like where most of them. I just don't know if there's gonna be like an issue when or a situation when someone is juiced up their map and then they are hoping for or like expecting the double and then it's not a double. I don't know how exactly it works, but they ask you to enter the Mirage. Mirage can augment the magic of the Mirage. She allows you to enter, giving you the option to choose one of 3 wishes before you do so. These wishes modify the Mirage in powerful, potent ways, transforming the copy within and causing monsters slain to drop powerful loot, currency for enhancing your equipment and gems, special caches, or even strange, mysterious coins. Fight your way through the monsters, astral hazards, and Farid mages to the tether holding the Jinn. Shatter this chain to free the Jinn, step by step, weakening. Like weakening or wrecking? Wreaking? Like it's just like wreaking, but like wreaking havoc, for example. Like weaking. I don't think weaking is right. Maybe it's like a different word. I don't know. Step by step. Let's go with weakening or step by step weakening whatever dark plans the Ferret may have for Ray class. Let's just go with weakening. With 3.28.0, there are standard hardcore soul found. Hardcore. It's like it goes the same way. The hardcore variations Mirage are parented to the standard Mirage equivalent, meaning if you die in hardcore Mirage, you can't continue on in standard Mirage League, which would be like, I don't know, it's like, nah. Oh, yeah. No. No, I'm confused because there's like, no, I'm not really confused. It's just the terminology is that I'm like, because there's like, if it's standard, hardcore, and solo self and variations of mirage challenge. So that's like the part with like, because like for me standard is standard. Like there's like the big melting pot where everything goes to die basically, or live, I suppose. Uh, for like people who just wanna don't have the time for like a challenge league and you wanna or like you wanna play around with legacy items, that kind of stuff. Or yeah, maybe like I said, just don't have the time necessarily or the inclination to start again every time. That's also perfectly fine. Because that case, like obviously standard hardcore is so but the standard is softcore, and then like saying standard Mirage League. That's why like it kind of threw me off the first time when they did this. That's why I wasn't like 100% sure like it actually has it works. But obviously, if they say standard Mirage, then it has to mean the softcore Mirage. But in my mind, it's such ironclad that that's softcore that they say standard, and I'm getting all thrown off because why would they say standard when it's softcore? Which is like the same thing, like standard rules. Like I get it, it's just the standard throws me off. Anyways, so obviously, if you die in hardcore, you don't go into like you don't go out of the league entirely. You just go into the softcore. But uh, but then I guess you would. It's like generally speaking, there's no real. Uh, I mean, to some extent there is, right. If I know that I wanna play the softcore economy anyway, then like even if I start hardcore and so eventually I'm just gonna be like, okay, yeah, now I'm just gonna have to let myself. Okay, chances are I'm probably just gonna fall over anyway, or long before that. I'm probably just gonna get hit by a Roa in mud flats, and I'm just gonna go in standard anyway, even if I start in hardcore. But yeah, it's not something that really impacts me personally, but it's nice that more people can maybe ease into hardcore and you just play hardcore, and then they know that even if they die, they can just pick it up and just play as if they were they were wanting to play softcore anyway, or in the first place. So I mean, obviously, I think that's a nice thing, and obviously the other part is that was also mentioned before by many, right? The impact of people not trying to rip the league specific things from the hardcore challenge league into standard. That would messes with the hardcore economy. So I think that's why I find more. Again, it's not something that personally involves me because I'm not playing hardcore. But yeah, it's a nice thing. Again, like I said, new the armor set of it looks good, and the totem. All right, yeah, and then from here on out, I think I went through everything. Okay, yeah, that was a very very long short read through. So yeah. Okay. I'm I think I'm gonna stop talking. That's the thing. I haven't yet played this in a while, so I just had my mouth running uncontrollably. So yeah, if anyone is here, hi, hi. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gonna be interesting. Play around with the controller, getting used to it. Ideally I would have had it earlier. But there was a funny situation where I was looking for one that was used, and it was kind of neat. I found the right one, so to speak. That was also kind of impatient, and they said that they would only be available in like a certain day. That day was yesterday, by the way. And I was like, hey, no, I think that's too late for me, and I would just rather just give the opportunity to the next person. And then I went on to order it new instead, but then I realized that I was I was mistaken about the date, because I was seeing a Monday and like, oh, it's gonna be, I think it was like what, Thursday or Friday that day, and I was like, okay, I'm just was it that, maybe it's Saturday. Anyways, it was sometimes at the end, towards the end of last week, and then I see Monday and like, oh yeah, nice, Monday, and then when I forwarded the order, that's when I realized like, oh, it's the next Monday, not this Monday. And then obviously someone else bought that used controller, but it's like, used is generally, I'm thinking, for obviously, like you get something that's new, that will be so nice, but even if you have like a certain amount of funds, so to speak, for a certain thing, and then I'm thinking like, okay, I can either like get something that's new, or look for like the uh next level. It's like, let's say I have X amount, right? And I could get something that is that price, new, or I could try to look for something that is like in good condition. But obviously, there's like there's a little bit of a lottery there, depending on what is the real condition of the thing that you are getting used. But let's say that was something that would be 2 times X, but used you can also get it for X. And then, okay, let's assume that, okay, but let's say that you have 2 times X for that certain thing. Now you could either buy that thing that you would that would, the aforementioned thing that would be new 2 times X, or again you could think about something that is, when it was new, it would be like 4 times X, but now you have 2 times X, and you could get, you get what I'm going with this, right? Like, usually that's how I'm thinking about many things. If obviously that is the chance of actually getting that, because if there is none, there is no way of me getting one of that is in, good condition, but not entirely new. And obviously there are things that you would not buy used, obviously, but this time with controllers, I just felt like, even if I, especially like not in that like the low range, like obviously I'm not gonna go for like anything insane when I don't even know if I'm gonna how much I'm gonna use it. But that is like a space, like I wouldn't necessarily be able to buy something for the cost of the other one new, that is in good condition used, but you know just because sometimes it's 2 times the price doesn't mean that it's twice as good. And in certain cases it can be even worse, even though it's more expensive. And also it depends on what you are needing it for. Another thing is like if it's wired or not wired, like, because like in some ways, have wireless, it's comfortable. You just be like, be wherever, and then you're not constrained by the wire. But at the same time, it can have, connectivity issues. Sometimes you just the wired one, you just plug it in and it works, and then the wireless, it doesn't connect, or it decides to disconnect. You have to charge it. Oh, you forgot to charge it. Oh, too bad. Now you're gonna interrupt your session, and you're gonna have to charge it. And these are like, obviously, like none of these are like the end of the world, but if you could avoid certain issues, then you would just buying wired, and in exchange you are taking on, let's say, the possibility of being constrained by the wire, or just having like uh if something happens to the wire, then obviously you are in an awkward position, especially if it's not a detachable cable. But pros and cons to everything. Anyway, point is that I should be able to have the controller in my hands, hopefully before league start. Like a little bit of getting used to it. And yeah. Honestly, I haven't really found, like, I'm really, like I said, I'm really trying to avoid and ignore Holy Relic, because like I know that I can pick it up and I can do everything with it to a more than acceptable level. I could complete, all the 40 challenges, and then I would be like, well, I'm done. I'm waiting for the next league. I could repeat the same thing that I've been doing for the past 3 leagues, which is not entirely true, because in the end I ended up rolling the Castman Stunned the last time, or in Keepers, and that was nice, that was neat. But then that was also kind of uninvolved, so to speak, and I was able to watch streams and other stuff on the side. Or I wouldn't even say that on the side I watched it. It was like more like I was playing the Castman Stunned on the side, and I was watching whatever I was watching as the main thing that I was doing. So yeah, point is, I need to force myself to do something different. It's like you give up something that is like guaranteed comfort zone, but for the potential of being more entertained, having more fun, doing something different, experiencing a different aspect of the game, I suppose. Do something that maybe is like more focused on just going through the maps faster, but at the same time, in the end, you always want, at least probably other people as well. For many people, you want something that can do everything. Maybe it doesn't excel at everything. Maybe just like it's really good at like a certain thing, but you want to kind of be able to do almost everything, right? Like even though you have something that's like very good at cleaning the maps, but you would still want to be able to actually kill the bosses, or even complete certain objectives, whether they be challenges or atlas completion stuff. I don't know how, like the top end, like how it's gonna be to actually complete fully the atlas. But I mean, it's not the unique maps are that hard or anything. It's just just actually getting them is what needs to be done. But okay, obviously aside from Hall of the Grandmaster, but we don't talk about that. It's just I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do that, because it's like, yeah, I don't know though when was the last time it was upgraded or updated, or if it's something that is always be able to be upgraded. It's like, I don't know if they upgrade it every league, every once in a while. I don't know. Well, okay. I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I've yapped enough. All right. Bye bye. See you, Mirage League, soon. Probably. We'll see. Okay. Bye.